Hi, this is Steve Merril, WagerTalk.com, right back here on WagerTalk TV with your college football top 25. Well, scratch that. There's technically no top 25 matchups this week, but there's a lot of top 30 matchups. I'm going to give you the four biggest games on the board this week in college football for Saturday, October the 23rd. I believe it's week 8, and that's not even counting the week 0. I don't acknowledge week 0. So it's week 8 of college football here on WagerTalk TV. The four biggest college football matchups with my power ratings, so you know where the line value is, coming up in just a moment. Quick reminder, though, if you want my strongest official college football best bets for Saturday, my NFL best bets for Sunday, Major League Baseball playoffs as well, and don't forget about the NBA, a perfect 3-0 sweep to start the NBA season on Tuesday and Wednesday this week, and we head into the weekend with even more NBA best bets. Go to WagerTalk.com and use promo code WEEK59, WEEK59, Week59. Gets you a full 7 days and nights of every personal best bet that I'm using for every sport every day for half price. That's a 50% discount. Week 59 gets you 7 days all sports whenever you want to start this weekend for just $59. Steve Merril, WagerTalk.com. Get there quicker with shortcut code WT.buzz/SM. Hey, let's look at the four biggest college football games for this week on Saturday, September the 23rd. All four games kick off at 3:30 Eastern, all four big national TV games. Now, once again, technically, there's no top 25 teams playing each other, although I actually misspoke. If you look at the coaches poll, both Pittsburgh and Clemson are ranked top 25. That's not the case with the AP, which most people go by, but technically, Pittsburgh-Clemson is a top 25 matchup. So let's start with that one. It's also the first one of the betting rotation, game number 343. And that's the Clemson Tigers, who are just having a terrible season, to say the least. You know, a week ago, before Clemson barely beat Syracuse 17-14, the advanced look-ahead line at some sports books. Very few have look-ahead lines in college football, but there is one out there. And the look-ahead line on this game was going to be Clemson -3. Clemson was going to be a 3-point road favorite at Pittsburgh. Well, what happens is Clemson, as I said, goes out there and they barely win against Syracuse 17-14 as a 2-touchdown favorite. And then more importantly, Pittsburgh looked really good at Virginia Tech, 28-7 win, third straight winning cover, fifth time in the last 6 weeks they've won and covered straight up and against the spread. They've been a huge moneymaker. Clemson, by the way, now 0-6 against the spread this year. In fact, they have barely scored what the point spread has been in several of those games, including last week. They only put up 17 as a 13-point favorite. And that is why the power ratings went, or the advanced line went from +3 Pittsburgh to the opener in this game, which was around -3. So once again, the Panthers went from a 3-point dog to a 3-point favorite on the actual opening line. My power ratings say it's not enough. 9.5. I made Pittsburgh a 9.5-point favorite in this game. You know, there's always teams that are just drastically awful against the spread, and quite often it's a team like Clemson that gets a lot weaker within one season. And I still don't think the betting markets have caught up to how much weaker this Clemson offense is this year, and really how good this Pittsburgh offense is. Pittsburgh averaging over 48 points a game. Clemson's averaging 20.5. Pittsburgh -9.5 based on my power ratings. That is definitely where the line value is in this game. Currently, the line is 3 to 3.5. So if you like Pittsburgh, you better grab that 3, as I do see some 3.5s out there. Obviously, 3, a very key number. That game goes at 3:30 Eastern on ESPN. Another top 30 matchup. Now we're going to look at the other top 30 matchups. There's once again no other teams that are top 25s against each other. But the next game on the betting rotation, I think, really are two top 25 teams, and that's because it's Oklahoma State at Iowa State. Now, technically, Iowa State is on the outside of the rankings looking in, yet they're a 7-point favorite over a highly ranked Oklahoma State team. And that, of course, is because the Cowboys are off to a perfect 6-0 straight-up start. Iowa State might be a mere 4-2, but they're playing excellent football right now. In fact, if you want an in-depth preview of this game, be sure to go back and check this past Wednesday's Wager Talk Today episode with the Prez and Teddy Covers here on Wager Talk TV. I did this game in depth on my appearance there, and I like Iowa State. I mentioned it on the show. Line was 7. It's still 7 as we head into the weekend. What I didn't mention on the show, because I saved it for this video for all of you loyal viewers of my top 25 power rating video, is that my power ratings also favor Iowa State in this game. In fact, I make the line 12. And they favored Iowa State quite often the last few weeks, as they're an underrated team now. And that's because they started the season just 2-2 straight up, 1-3 against the spread. Keep in mind, though, tough loss against a really good Iowa team in which they had a 4-0 turnover deficit, still only lost by 10 points in that game, held the Hawkeyes just 173 total yards. They came out and also had a tough 29-31 loss at Baylor a couple weeks later, in which they gained almost 470 total yards, held Baylor to just about 270, outgained the Bears by almost 200 total yards, yet lost by 2. So This team very well could be a perfect 6-0. I think they're the better football team. Obviously, the odds makers are saying that as well, as they're a 7-point favorite over undefeated and top-ranked Oklahoma State. And my power ratings say it also. They make them a 12-point favorite. So the line value is with Iowa State, 3:30 Eastern on Fox. Another game that goes at 3:30 Eastern Saturday afternoon in college football, and this is a Pac-12 matchup between a team that had their national title hopes squashed a few weeks ago, and that's Oregon when they lost to Stanford. They didn't have the bye week to regroup, came back and won last week against Cal 24-17, but a lackluster non-covering win. In fact, Oregon has now failed to cover the spread in 3 straight games. UCLA, meanwhile, has covered 3 of their last 4 and won 3 of their last 4 straight up. So you could make an argument UCLA may be the hotter team, at least against the point spread, but I think this line is spot on. Currently, UCLA about a 1.5-point favorite. Now, the line was 2 earlier in the week, came down to 1.5 on Thursday afternoon, a little bit of a steam move. I think some money came in on Oregon. My power ratings favor UCLA by 1, so I think the line is pretty much spot on. By the way, the advanced look-ahead line a week ago was going to be Oregon -3. I saw one rogue line out there, a look-ahead of Oregon -3. It opened pick. And as I mentioned, UCLA was as high as -2 earlier this week. Now it's around 1.5. My power ratings make UCLA 1. So I think the line is pretty much spot on. The over could be worth a look. Both teams off back-to-back unders. But these are 2 good offensive teams. UCLA averaging 33.5, Oregon 34 a game. Total's seen some sharp money. It opened 57.5. It's now up to 60.5. So although there's no value on the side based on my power ratings, I do think the move to the over makes some sense in this one. That goes at 3:30 Eastern Saturday afternoon on ABC. One final game, a top 30 matchup, if you will, to talk about. This is another team that's a little bit on the outside looking in, a couple of them actually, and that's Ole Miss and LSU. These are 2 teams that I think both have top 25 talent. This game goes 3:30 Eastern as well, Saturday afternoon on CBS. And LSU, an interesting team to talk about. I had to talk about it here on the video. Obviously, Ed Orgeron is gone as head coach suddenly. I mean, what an era we live in. A team wins the national championship and less than 2 years later, their head coach is gone. And on top of that, he upsets Florida last week as almost a 2-touchdown underdog. Boy, if you can't keep your job in that scenario, something ain't right. But things apparently weren't right in Baton Rouge. Not only had he somewhat lost the players from what I've heard, also a lot of the assistant coaches were having problems with him. He was going to have trouble recruiting just as coaches and players in the future. So they kind of had to make the change. So the big question, of course, from a handicapping perspective is, how does that affect LSU this week? Orgeron, if you'd asked me a year and a half ago when they're winning the national title, I would have said he was a rah-rah players coach, and they would have really been upset that he was gone. Not sure that's the case now. Hard to say. Let's look at the math, as I often defer to. The look-ahead line on this game a week ago was going to be Ole Miss maybe a touchdown, more than about 10 to 12 points. There actually wasn't a true look-ahead number on this one, so we don't know exactly what the markets were thinking before the teams played last week. But we do know what the opening line was. Some sportsbook opened as high as 12. Others opened as low as 10. So we'll say that 11 range was the opening number this past Sunday. It quickly came down to the current line of 9.5. So it's below that key number of 10. I don't agree with that move, though. My power ratings favor Ole Miss by 12.5. So I think those opening numbers were closer to the true line. And we do get a little bit of line value at 9.5 or less with Mississippi because my power ratings once again make them a 12-point favorite in this game. Obviously, they had that tough loss against Alabama. They bounced back with a back-and-forth 52-51 win against Arkansas. Didn't know if they'd have much in the tank last week, but they did win and cover against a dangerous Tennessee team, 31-26. So it does appear that Mississippi is still playing hard, and obviously they're an explosive offensive team. Just don't know if LSU can keep up offensively in this game. They obviously have huge distractions losing their head coach this past week, and there is now some line value. Once again, my power ratings favor Mississippi by 12.5. Current line is only 9.5. That's on CBS, 3:30 Eastern. And look, those are the 4 biggest matchups in college football this Saturday. We don't have any true, really top 20 matchups. We have barely a top 25, mostly top 30 matchups. But those are the 4 biggest games. Hope you found this information useful. As always, my official best bets, the exact same games that I'm using, the same games I've used for the past 25 years as a full-time professional handicapper. Go to my clients each and every day at WagerTalk.com. And this is a great week to try it out because we got off to a perfect 3-0, 100% start in the NBA earlier this week. Major League Baseball was number 1 ranked in totals this year. The playoffs are still going. World Series around the corner. And, of course, NFL and college football this Saturday and Sunday. Get every play, every sport, every day for the next 7 days and nights for half price with promo code WEEK59, WEEK59. Week59 gets you the next 7 days and nights of all sports, every day, every play for just $59. Steve Merril, WagerTalk.com, promo code WEEK59. Use the shortcut to get there faster, wt.buzz/SM. Thanks as always for watching. Please subscribe to WagerTalk TV so we can keep this great free content available each and every day on this channel. Hit the bell if you want instant alerts when videos are posted, including my Fade the Public NFL video, which will be ready this weekend. Subscribe, hit the bell for that alert when the NFL Fade the Public video is ready. Don't forget to give the video a thumbs up if you found this information useful. And most importantly, give me a comment below. I love my comments. I read each and every one of them. I reply back to all of them. I want to know who you like this week in the games I mentioned and also other college football games as well. Let me know where you agree or disagree with my power ratings. Like, subscribe, comment below, and check back every day, including this weekend, for my NFL Fade the Public video right here on WagerTalk TV. Best of luck.